In 1612, an Alpine notary answered a brotherhood that had left no return address. His name was Adam Haslmayr. He had seen a handwritten copy of a manifesto that wouldn't be printed for 2 more years, and he wrote back, praising the unseen authors, begging to be let in. Within months, soldiers took him. He was shipped to Genoa, his head and beard shaved, chained to the oar bench of a galley where he rowed for nearly 4.5 years. He was the first person known to answer the Brotherhood of the Rose Cross. His reward was the galleys and silence. No brother ever came for him. The Fama had done this to people. Printed in 1614, it told of a German mystic, a hidden tomb, a body that would not decay, and it ended by inviting worthy readers to make themselves known. Then it gave them nowhere to go. 3 years later, in 1615, in the German town of Kassel, the Brotherhood wrote back to everyone, a second letter, in Latin, addressed to the learned of Europe. They called it the Confessio. It is a strange kind of document, a reply from a society that may never have existed to a continent already pounding on a door with no handle. And it came with instructions. The Confessio opens by telling you how to read it. Whatever you heard through the trumpet of the Fama, it says, do not believe it hastily or willfully suspect it. The preface lays out a promise of structure, 37 reasons to join, set down for you to weigh and compare. In form, it is a recruitment brochure for the invisible. Then it makes its case. The whole of human learning, it claims, is fetching its last breath. The medicine, the astronomy, the law of the age, all sick at once. And the cure, it says, is already at hand. What's coming, the letter promises, is a reformation of everything, a 6th age, a return of the light the first man Adam carried out of paradise and lost. The world is about to wake, and the brothers insist this isn't only their prophecy. They say God already hung the proof overhead where anyone could look up and read it. 2 new stars, one in Cygnus, the swan, one in Serpentarius, the serpent-bearer. The letter calls them messengers of a great council. They were real. In 1602, a new star flared in Cygnus. In 1604, a brighter one burned in the foot of Serpentarius. The supernova Johannes Kepler tracked for a year, and that still carries his name. To an astronomer, they were exploding stars. To the Brotherhood, they were a clock. And the year the brightest one appeared, 1604, was the same year their founder's hidden tomb was said to have opened. The brothers read the heavens like a calendar everyone else had forgotten how to use. The stars weren't decoration to them. They were a notice that the deadline was close. Their central claim was about reading. The book of nature, the Confessio says, stands open before every eye, and almost no one alive can read a word of it. It puts it as a riddle about the senses. There were ages that only saw, it says, ages that only heard, ages that tasted and smelled. The age now arriving would finally be given a tongue. What that age would speak was a lost language. The brothers claimed God had stamped characters across creation, older than Babel, the tongue of Adam and Enoch, and that they alone had learned to write in it again. The picture it leaves you with is almost gentle, a world that has slept off a poisoned drink, waking with bare head and naked feet, walking out to meet the sun coming up over the hill. If that sounds like an open invitation, it was one. The letter calls the worthy of Europe to come, but it spends as much effort keeping people out as drawing them in. It warns off the gold hunters first. Yes, the brothers say, we could make gold, and it is the least of what we hold. Anyone who comes for the metal has already failed the test. Throw away the fraud's books, it tells readers, the fake tinctures, the monstrous symbols. It singles one rival out only as a stage player, a showman with a real gift for deception. Underneath all of it sits the promise. Come to us, and you fear neither hunger, nor poverty, nor disease, nor age. Read the one book, and every other book is already in your head. And then the letter does something a modern reader has to stop and place in its century. Because the Confessio is not only a science manifesto, it is a weapon in a religious war. In its preface, it calls the Pope the Antichrist in print, at a time when saying so in the wrong town could cost you your head. It condemns what it calls the blasphemies of East and West, naming the Pope and Muhammad together, and promises the coming Reformation will sweep both off the board. This is 1615. Germany is a few years from the 30 Years' War. The letter pledges its secret treasures to the Holy Roman Emperor and prophesies the Pope's triple crown brought to nothing. And it is literal to the authors. They claim Germany has already found the Pope's hidden caves and passages, that his final fall is near, and that they will live to watch it. Read today, that is the uncomfortable half of the document. Apocalyptic, sectarian, sure of its enemies. It belonged to a Europe that believed the end of history was one generation away. For all its certainty, the reply had the same flaw as the first letter. There was still no return address, no names, no way to write back to the men who had written to all of Europe. Europe answered anyway. The Manifestos set off a storm of print, defenses, and attacks, and open appeals from strangers begging the invisible brothers to come find them. Two serious minds defended them in public, the English physician Robert Fludd and the German alchemist Michael Maier, each staking his name on a brotherhood neither man had ever met. Adam Haslmayr kept writing about them from the memory of the galleys. He never got his reply either. In 1623, placards appeared overnight on the walls of Paris. "We, the deputies of the College of the Rose-Cross," they read, "are making our stay in this city, visibly and invisibly." Paris panicked. A priest named François Garras declared it a hoax. Rumor placed René Descartes among the brothers, and he had to be seen in public to prove that he, at least, was not invisible. No brother was ever produced. No college, no vault, no founder's body. Only the letters, and, a year later, a third book that turned the whole story into a dream. Historians now mostly trace the Manifestos to a small circle of Lutheran scholars in Tübingen. One of them, the young theologian Johannes Valentin Andreae, later half-claimed the third book himself and called the whole affair a ludibrium, a game. Which may be the most modern thing about the Confessio. It was a letter that demanded an answer and refused to receive one, and it recruited, for years, on behalf of an organization that may never have had a single member. It never mattered whether anyone was home. The idea did the recruiting. 400 years on, people are still answering a door that may have never had a single soul behind it.